parliamentary procedures, parliamentary rules. And what I'm holding up here is Robert's Rules of Order. And that's the parliamentary authority we're going to talk about today. And the reason we're going to talk about Robert's Rules of Order, even though there's other parliamentary authorities throughout the world, other rule books, Toastmasters International has adopted Robert's Rules of Order in its bylaws. This district has adopted Robert's Rules of Order, and so if your club is in the United States, your club's constitution has adopted Robert's Rules of Order in your constitution. So, hey Patrice, will you advance? One back. Robert's Rules of Order. How many of you have been in a meeting where you left frustrated because your time was wasted, because nothing got done? Okay, I won't ask how many of you have chaired a meeting like that. This is about not placing blame but finding solutions. And we don't have to look too far because we've got the solution. He had the same problem, General Henry Martin Roberts, Robert's Rules of Order. So, I'm just going to explain really quickly some fundamentals where this rule book falls into your organization. Patrice? Okay, first, an organization, there's a hierarchy of rule. An organization has to follow laws. Some organizations have corporate charters. Did you know that Toastmasters International has articles of incorporation, a corporate charter? They're incorporated through the state of California. So that's one of our governing documents. Constitution and or bylaws. Now constitutions are sort of old-fashioned, but Toastmasters started in the 1930s, so we're a little old-fashioned. So our clubs have constitutions and bylaws. Some organizations only have bylaws if they're newer, but it's okay to have both. And constitution and bylaws are, again, governing documents specifically about your organization. They talk about things like who can be a member, what dues are there, where do we meet, how often do we meet, what kind of officers do we have. That's all that's in your bylaws and constitution. Now we get to the good part, at least what I think is the good part, the foreign language. Robert's Rules of Order. Now Robert's Rules of Order is actually a pretty portable rule book or parliamentary authority because it can be used in a church, a Rotary Club, Lions Club, Toastmaster Club, even Congress if they wanted to adopt this as their rule book. But they have their own parliamentary authority, but it's portable. But when an organization adopts this parliamentary authority into its bylaws or constitution, this becomes part of your organization. So that's where this fits in to your organization. And then there are standing rules, which go back into talking specifically about your organization, administrative details that are too detailed to include in your bylaws, but yet should still be documented. And there are those wonderful, wonderful unwritten rules called customs. How many of you have been in a club where if you don't wear your badge, you have to throw a quarter in the kitty? It might not, it might not be written down anywhere. It's a custom. So, now why do we have these rules? Sure, it makes meetings run efficiently, but we have these rules mostly to protect us, the members of organizations. First, it protects the rights of the majority, because the majority does rule. But you know, if you're in the minority, your rights are protected too, because every member has the right to participate, debate, and try to influence other members to see their point of view. And if they can't convince other people, they don't lose any of their rights next time around. So their rights are protected. Individual members' rights are protected because the great thing is it's like any democracy. One person, one vote. I can't do more than anyone else in an organization. I can only influence one vote. Absentee members' rights are protected. And how that happens is through something called a quorum. Has anyone ever heard of that before? Okay, good. You're in the right place. And a quorum is what your bylaws or constitution say are the minimum number of members that are necessary so that business can be transacted in your organization legally. So in Toastmasters for regular business, in the constitution we have in our clubs, 50% of membership. So if your club has 21 members and only 9 members show up, you can't really do any business. But if you have 11 members, you're fine. So you need that quorum, and that's the first thing after a business meeting starts that will be announced. Now, the entire assembly's rights are protected because of the quorum, but also because everybody's hearing the same thing at the same time. And that's the great thing about getting things done with a group of other people. Because we'd like to be able to do everything by ourselves, but that's just impractical. So we join organizations so we can accomplish things as a group. But groups are really, when you join a committee or become a member of an organization, you're really a member of a team. So you need this rule book. So I'm glad at this time to turn this training session over to Mike Orr, who's going to talk a little bit more about the fundamentals of parliamentary procedure.